And some viewers and listeners might be surprised to hear me say this, especially after what I said about Josh Giddey on yesterday's show.
Buckle up, baby. Come on.
Not for the foreseeable future, including next season and beyond. For the final 27 games of this season, there is no one more important on this team than Joshua Giddey.
Explain.
He needs to play as much of these games as possible. While I still think soft tank is in this team's best interest, you might say, well, Josh, if he's out there playing a lot, could help this team win. Maybe win some, lose some. I think when it comes to Josh, that's basically been the trend since he got here. They are a mid-ish team when he plays. And so, but like when you're talking about who stays and who goes in this 6-person backcourt shuffle you got going on, and AK and Eversley and who else being tasked with trying to decide if they want to keep any of these guys and who those people are, they have clearly invested in Josh Giddey. Whether you are a Giddey believer or not, that is the reality. So make your peace with that and say, okay, who plays best next to Josh Giddey and who makes Josh Giddey better playing next to him? So, and as you said a minute ago, sometimes, obviously, and if Billy especially continues on being this team's head coach, you can throw a lot of 3-guard lineups out there. But all the mixtures of Josh Giddey and fill-in-the-blank player in the backcourt, or Josh Giddey and this guard and this guard, and 3-guard rotations, you have a 27-game sample size to make those decisions. And Josh Giddey being healthy and playing as the best version of himself with those guys is one of the most important things for the next 27 games.
I completely agree with him on that.
I want to respectfully disagree.
Oh,
boom!
I agree.
I think you're right to say that Giddey is around. He's a fixture of the franchise moving forward. And I think, like, for better, for worse, whatever you think about Giddey, like, I think we talked about yesterday, areas where he can still improve. I'm optimistic about his future. But I know that he is part of the future. So I don't feel like he needs to be on the court as much, because to me, the most important thing that the Bulls can do the rest of the way is lose every single game that they can. Forget about soft tank. They need to be extremely hard tanking to get themselves the best possible chance to draft in the top 4 of this draft.
Yeah.
They need a top pick because they're not going to finish as a bottom 4 team. I think probably realistically 8 or 9 is the highest that they can do. But if they can get higher than that, it just maximizes their odds. And we know that that is the most important thing for their team moving forward. I think Jaden Ivey could be a potential piece. I think Rob Dillingham could be a potential piece. But you can figure that stuff out next year with Josh Giddey. Right now, what you need to figure out is how can you get the best possible draft pick, because I think that player gives you the best chance moving forward.
So I agree with lots of what your counterpoint was.
I do too.
The follow-up is the fact that so many of these guys, basically everyone save Dillingham, are on expiring deals. You don't care about that as much as stacking L's when it comes to using this sample size of games to decide if you want to keep any of these guys who are on expiring.
Josh Giddey is a good player. He's going to prevent you from losing games. And I think if you're signing up for 3 or 4 years of Jaden Ivey after this year, they're going to figure it out next year. Like, I don't think they need to solve all of these problems right now, because the roster is still so much in flux. If that were the case, then why not buy out Anthony Simons and Colin Sexton and actually put those guys on the court with Josh Giddey? I just don't think that those things are fully aligned right now. And so to me, I think, getting Trey back in there, getting Giddey back in there, getting Jalen Smith back in there, playing them with, it's not like a bad thing. I think that continuity is valuable. I just don't think it's nearly as valuable as a potential top 4 pick in this draft. And if playing Josh Giddey and Jalen Smith gives you one more win, and that one more win puts you in a position where now you're drafting 10th instead of 4th, or drafting 11th instead of 10th, that is just not worth it to me.
I don't disagree. I was just
That's interesting.
Talking about what's happening on the court. I think the most important thing, or one of the useful things you can get out of 27 games, where it's in your team's best interest to lose as many of those 27 games as you can.
Yeah.
Getting something productive out of those games can still be seeing which of these guards you like playing alongside Josh Giddey the most.
And I think both.
And
of
you
those
can,
things
I think,
can
do
be
that
true.
whilst still accomplishing a goal of losing more games than you win.
I think that's a fair point, that both of those things can be true. But again, if that one additional win that Josh Giddey, or 2 or 3 or whatever it may be, is the difference between them being 10th in the lottery standings or 9th or 11th instead of 10th, and because you're talking about downside too, where a team can jump you and that pushes you back. It's not like they're guaranteed the 9th pick if they finish with the ninth worst record. You get the higher % chance of jumping up, and it becomes even there's a cap on how far you can fall back. So I think like, to me, that's what is important right now. They're going to have cap space. They're going to reshape the roster again this summer. I don't feel like they need to invest time and energy and resources into all these guys in a way where it costs them wins. I just don't. And like, I think there's value in getting them on the court together for sure. I just don't think that comes anywhere close to the value of putting yourself in the very best possible position to get a high draft pick.